Hi everyone, it's Carl. I hope you're doing well. By now, look, most of you know that I continually travel to Japan. I mean, COVID has put a damper on it for about 2 years, but since 2006, I have continually traveled back and forth to Japan, not only for my own personal interest, but also because I provide tours to Japan for people who want to see Japan for the very first time. In fact, this is a little embarrassing, but it's true. In 2017, I had to go back to the Houston Passport Agency. These are people that kind of expedite your passports, because I had literally filled up most of the pages on my first passport with trips to Japan, and I needed a second passport with fresh pages. If I had to guess, I stopped counting at this point, but I think I have been to Japan about 83 or 84 times, sometimes going to Japan 8 times in a single year. In fact, in 2011, film students at the University of Tokyo, which is located in Ueno, the northern part of Tokyo, they produced a short documentary of me traveling through Japan, sampling the finest sushi that Japan has to offer. In fact, I put a couple of clips on this documentary when it was shown in front of an audience quite some time ago. I'll point them out in this video. But I've had the good fortune of sampling sushi from the finest tips of Hokkaido to the bottom of Kagoshima. And if I had to guess, probably 200 specific spots. And for you, my dear viewers, I thought I would provide you with the very best sushi recommendations that Japan has to offer. So let's get to it.
First, let's start with the largest city in the entire nation, Tokyo. Now, there's lots of spots that are prime contenders for my list, but I'm going to keep it to 4. Sushi Saito, located in a region named Roppongi, a southern region of Tokyo, and on the first floor of the Arc Hill South Tower. Sushi Saito has been here at this location since 2014. The owner and signature chef, Tsuki Saito, is the focal point of this spot. Now, to be honest, I have only dined here about 3 or 4 times, so my experience is rather limited, but every dinner was outstanding. Reservations are tough to get, so you have to ask your hotel's concierge for assistance in getting seats long in advance before you travel to Japan. If you get seats, you won't be sorry. A top-notch spot to consider. Next, Sukiyabashi Giri, Roppongi Hills location, and only a 6-minute cab ride from Sushi Saito. If you've ever seen the documentary Jiro Dreams of Sushi, which I highly recommend, you know of this spot. The spot is owned and operated by Chef Takashi Ono, Jiro Ono's younger son. Over the past 10 years, I have developed a very strong relationship with Takashi-san, and most of my tours stop here for lunch or dinner. It is remarkable, achieving 2 Michelin stars and gaining extraordinary praise from every customer. It's located in Roppongi Hills, the priciest area of Tokyo. Right down the street from Sukiyabashi Giri Roppongi Hills, you'll see the high-end spots like Tiffany, Gucci, Burberry, Versace, you get the idea. This spot seats only 8 people, and there are 2 lunch and 2 dinner services. And if you can get a seat, you will be really happy. My next recommendation in Tokyo, Sushi Mizuki. Located a short walk from the exterior border of the Imperial Palace in central Tokyo, this spot is amazing. Michinobu Mizuki is a friend of mine. We chat online every now and then, and I met him when he was a managing apprentice of Takashi Ono, the owner of Sukiyabashi Giri Roppongi. Well, Mizukami-san learned the very best in all of Japan for more than a decade and eventually moved on to do his own thing, taking the very best from his education at Sukiyabashi Giri and altering some concepts to capture his own signature style. I can tell you this, 2 of my oldest friends in Japan are sushi experts. Over the past 2 years, they visited Sushi Mizuki to sample his skills. They both consider the experience to be outstanding. And my final recommendation in Tokyo, Sukiyabashi Giri Honten, the main location. My dear sushi lovers, this is the Holy Grail, located in the heart of the Ginza Strip, with access to the Tokyo Metro subway literally 50 meters away. This is the end-all, be-all of sushi existence. Whenever someone needs help finding the address, I say to them, find a store on your phone named The Suit Company, and then locate the stairs going down. You found it? You are there. Now, let me say this. I am a very, very, very lucky guy. I began dining at this spot long before it became world famous. Back in 2006 and 2007, it wasn't that hard to get a seat. You had to reserve a spot 2 or 3 months in advance, and I happily did so. But in 2011, when the documentary Jiro Dreams of Sushi was released, it gained international praise. In less than 5 months of the release of the film, 1 out of every 3 sushi lovers made this a bucket list destination. And now, as of December 2019, Sukiyabashi Giri Honten, the main location, was deliberately removed from the International Michelin Guide, the ultimate dining guide, because it is next to impossible to get a single seat. They no longer take phone calls, reservations over the phone, or walk-ins in any way. The only way to get a spot is to either A, be good friends with Jiro or Yoshikazu Ono, B, have enormous stature within the Japanese community. Maybe you're a world-famous architect or movie star, or C, have your hotel concierge have remarkable luck in obtaining a single seat. I can tell you this, these days, if people tell me they have eaten there in the past few years, I am highly skeptical of the truth of their claim. In fact, let me say this. A good friend of mine lives in Denver, Colorado, highly successful. I am talking uber wealthy. The type of guy who will hire an architect to remodel his entire garage for his latest exotic car. Well, he possesses an American Express Centurion card, the black card, the elite of the elite credit cards with a legendary international 5-star concierge service. Well, planning way ahead, he contacted the Amex Premier Concierge and said, I want to get 2 seats to Sukiyabashi Giri, the Ginza location, and they replied, that is next to impossible. The original location of Sukiyabashi Giri is, without question, the pinnacle spot. Okay, enough with Tokyo. Now, let's go to Kyoto, and I have a great one for you to consider. Sushi Gion Matsudaya. Located in the Geisha district and approximately a 5-block walk from the Yasaka Shrine, this spot is well known for sushi lovers in central Kyoto. Now, it's not easily spotted by anyone. It's tucked away. In order to get to it, you need to walk through a narrow alley that's 1 block off the main street. The first thing you'll notice is that the entrance to this spot is remarkably unassuming. I mean, you could walk right past it and easily miss it. Second, it's a small sushi spot, seating a small group at best. My first experience at Sushi Gion Matsudaya was in 2014, and I've been back about 10 times. In Kyoto, it is first rate. Now, let's go really north, all the way to the island of Hokkaido, Japan. This area right here. Wait, hang on. Let me zoom in on this for you. Okay, this is the island of Hokkaido. Now, let's focus on just this area right here. This section of Hokkaido is named Otaru, Japan. Now, in this area, you'll find a section that rests right on the coast of the Sea of Japan. And there's a phenomenal cluster of sushi spots all over this area, more dining spots than you can imagine. And in this area, one spot stands out, Sushi a tiny location. Sits alone next to a big hotel, but the appearance of this spot is easily identifiable. The sushi is phenomenal because Otaro gets some of the very best seafood from local ports. In other words, they get to pick out the very best scallops and sea urchin and tuna and other little gems long before the big cities get the chance to buy anything. But not only that, they pride themselves in offering a phenomenal sake selection to pair with your experience. But one quick final note about Sushi Yakodai. This is not a glamorous experience. You come here for the sushi, not for the ambiance. And my final recommendation, this time in the city of Nagoya, Japan. And if you venture just a little left from the center of the city, near the Nagoya waterway, you'll find a little spot named Ueda. A few years back, I actually found this spot by accident. Here's a mock-up of the aerial view of the area. Now, directly across the street from Ueda is a post office. I was sending some goodies back home, and I needed to find a great dinner spot. A good friend of mine named Yoshi Takahara said, "Consider Ueda. It is phenomenal." So I looked it up on my phone on Google Maps, and it said, "You are 22 meters away from this location." I looked outside the window of the post office, and there it was. It's a tiny, cozy spot, all by itself, surrounded by parking lots. Not only is the sushi fantastic, but Chef Naoki Ueda and his wife purposely took the time to find little gems to decorate and make the environment truly Japanese while being warm and inviting for people like you and I. If you love sushi, if you're in Nagoya and you want a signature experience, Ueda is for you. Now, I could go further and add many, many more spots to this video, but I hope that this is a great start for anyone going to Japan.
Now, let me say this. There were a handful of quality contenders that didn't make the very, very, very top of the list. For example, Sushi Dai, which was originally in the Tsukiji fish market. It is now in the Toyosu fish market. Sushi Hayata, which is located in the city of Osaka, Japan. Sushi Imiko, which is in Kobe, Japan. Or perhaps Sushi Sakai, which is in Fukuoka, southern Japan. But if you're ever walking the streets of Kyoto, Nagoya, Tokyo, Hokkaido, and you want to sample the finest sushi that Japan has to offer, I'm more than confident that you'll be happy with the list I've provided to you. And if you have a question whatsoever, don't hesitate to contact me. There's my email address. And as always, thank you for watching.